Alright, let's talk about different criteria for how to choose a university. Well, first of all, when you choose university, you need to think about academic and professional interests. What are your interests? Is there a major that you want to have? Is there the minor that you want to have? Is there a certain professor maybe that is doing a specific research you are interested in? Other different other opportunities for your career growth, and also obviously before that to achieve your educational goals, right? So thinking about academic and professional opportunities a certain university and program is providing is the first step for you to kind of like narrow down the search for universities. The second one would be university resources, right? Basically mimicking what I just said, kind of it flows really well. If you know what you want to study, if you know the reasons behind it, if you know the outcome you want to achieve while you are studying a specific program in the university of your choice, then you definitely need to be knowledgeable about what university resources are there. Do they have enough laboratories for you? Do they have a studio if you are doing music or some other art, right? What internships they might provide, right? Internships in itself is actually a different criteria, but I'm just trying to give you a few examples of what it is that university in terms of resources can provide to you. That's definitely a criteria for you to look. Now, the third one is university ranking. I'm a bit of skeptical sometimes when people put a lot of weight into this one, but yes, certainly university ranking matters as well. It's just don't think only of Ivy League, that's my personal advice. Think a little bit more. There are like 4,000 universities in the US alone. So definitely there are plenty of good universities, not only the ones that are part of Ivy League. Ranking always speaks volumes about the branding of the university. But again, try to think the interests that you have, the resources that you have, and a few other criteria that will narrow down your search. But if you want to think of ranking, then you definitely can look at the national university ranking, and then you can also look at rankings by specific college or a program. Because for example, there might be university that is like high up in the rankings, but that college you are going to within that university system is not actually as good, ranking speaking wise. So, and then it might be also a specific program. You might go to the program that either super high in the ranking or low, depending on the context, while the college and university ranking might differ as well. One of the most famous one and widely used for the US market is the ranking from the US World News Report. So at any point in time you can just Google and search for a specific school, university, program, and just see what will be there. There are many other rankings that you can find, and again, I will not put a lot of weight into it, but obviously one of the criteria. The fourth criteria will be learning style. And so, learning style, what do I mean by that? Now, what is the class size? Do you want to study with 30 students in the room? Do you want to study with 100 students in the room? Is it more of an individual approach? Is it more of a group approach? Different professors may provide you with multiple options. Maybe they will be more strict. It also depends on a subject and on a professor's choice. And so sometimes it has nothing to do with the actual university or program, but then other times it does. So you just have to do a little bit of research before you make a choice with that university or program, right? And so again, what is the class size? What is the flexibility in terms of choosing courses? What's the style of teaching and how can you learn? What tools can you use? The next criteria is tuition and financial aid. Obviously, what is the cost? Right? What's your budget, first of all, then what you can afford, and then what are the financial aid and scholarship opportunities in a given university, right? And are you eligible for those or not? Are you a domestic student? Are you an international student? Maybe these are merit-based scholarships, maybe these are need-based scholarships, maybe there are no scholarship whatsoever. There is only financial aid provided by government, right? So you gotta explore those to understand, does it even make sense for you to take that university into a pool of schools you want to apply to? The next is the employment potential. Remember I was talking about resources and opportunities for internships? Well, this is kind of flows into employment potential. If you get a lot of opportunities to be an intern in a certain company while those corporations and businesses and non-profit organizations have connections with the university that you are studying, then there is a chance that if you go through that internship, not only you get credit and experience and you can put it in your resume and college CV, but also you might get an opportunity to get a job afterwards when you graduate. And depending again on your education level, many masters and PhD students actually working full-time and studying. So the way you structure your life is up to you, but I'm just letting you know employment potential is another criteria for you to choose a specific university and narrow down your choice. Now the final one, geographical location. It might be so obvious, but not always obvious. Sometimes you think, well, if I live in the United States, I'm a domestic student, or I live in the UK, I live wherever it is where I'm gonna study, that's fine, it doesn't matter. Well, it does. If you live in a country where there are different states and different cities, it might vary by culture or by infrastructure, right? Then it is a big deal. I can give you this example. So I live in Arkansas, let's say. This is a state where there is not much public transportation. Obviously it's there, but it's not as developed as let's say in New York or Florida, right? And then so it's just more cultural to drive here. So you have to think about it. Will you be able to get a car? Will you be able to ask your friend to help you out, to, you know, get you some groceries and things like that? Obviously, when you're applying to school, that's not the first thing that comes to your brain. Oh, okay, I need to think about these things. Well, especially if you're an international student, all you want is to get a great school, great education, and figure out your financial aid options. I get it. But still, it is a criteria. You have to think about it. You have to think, well, if you are an international student, for example, and you come in, or even if you're a domestic student, you're going to another state, do you have any connections? Do you have any family? Do you have friends? Do you have people of your nationality or your ethnicity, if that's important to you? All these things, lifestyle, infrastructure, what kind of food is there, restaurants, and, you know, what is the income rate? Because whether it's expensive to live there or whether it's cheaper to live there. So all these things matter. And then if you have really high budget and you're kind of more flexible, maybe you will think about things like, oh, I want to live in an area that has a coastal access. Like I have ocean right there, like Florida, I'm gonna go study there, or California, right? So gotta think about those things. So let's go through those again. So we have academic professional interests, we have university resources, we have university ranking, learning style, tuition and financial aid, employment potential and geographical location, local culture and infrastructure. So those are some of the key criteria you can play with to identify what university you need to go to and which one out of those will fit your needs the most. Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this video. I want to make sure that you take the full value and you check out the course, since this video that's an excerpt from the course, and you will be able to learn everything you need from A to Z on how to get admitted to the best university, to the university of your dreams. So make sure to check out the course, click the link in the description or see us somewhere popping up here and there. Thank you, and let's get to watching.